EA are very lazy. Whoa, calm down. Everybody knows how lazy EA can be with their sports games, and the NHL franchise is no different. EA has a wide range of sports games, including Madden, NCAA, FIFA, and even other sports such as F1 and UFC. Whenever you think of the greatest games from those titles, you usually tend to think of the older games, and NHL is no different. Whenever you think of the greatest NHL game, a lot of people tend to think of NHL 14, and quite frankly, I agree. It is honestly the greatest game of all time. But why do a lot of people think that? And let me tell you, it is not just simply a nostalgia thing. A lot of people think that the NHL franchise has regressed since NHL 14, which has now been released for a little past 11 years. Damn, I feel old. People make videos and posts saying what EA should do to change their franchise around, and of course, EA never listens. This video is going to be no different. How does EA take all this criticism and still get away with it? Well, that's because there's no other competition for them. There's no other real hockey games on the market, and when there is one that emerges, EA are going to be screwed. So how is EA going to save themselves? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about what EA needs to do, what they need to add to their games, and how to make the fans happy. I will be compiling a list of ideas for myself as well as Reddit users who I'll be crediting at the end of the video. Big shout out to them. Let's get into it. I'm not going to lie, James Cebulski's done an awesome job as commentator in the franchise, considering he's not even a commentator in real life. I think a fresh new voice would be pretty cool. There's a big number of voices that they can bring in for the franchise. Maybe an ESPN commentator, a TNT commentator. I feel like that'd be pretty sick. Maybe if they keep Cebulski as a color commentator and bring somebody else to do play-by-play, that'd be pretty awesome as well. But honestly, this isn't even one of my biggest concerns. I think one of my biggest concerns with commentary is that there needs to be more energy, more lines into the game. Some of the biggest moments in the game, such as Game 7 overtime winners or even playoff games, I feel like there's no enthusiasm whatsoever. I just think that more personable lines would be pretty cool. Maybe if there's other games going on in the league in franchise mode, they'll talk about that. Some of the voice lines just feel very robotic to me. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Just try to make it seem more realistic. That's all. I feel like there's a lot of superstars in the game that just have generic faces or faces that haven't been updated in a couple of years. I just think it's absolutely wild to me that FIFA has all these leagues and players to scan, and you can't even scan just the NHL. Even if you don't do it every year, just do it every couple of years. Keep the player faces updated. This one really isn't a major issue for me, but I feel like the crowd is just very generic. An example for this is a Stanley Cup winning goal. I feel like the crowd just reacts as if it's a normal goal. Maybe if you had some ultras in the crowd or people going nuts, that'd be pretty sick. Pre-game introductions would be a pretty big benefit for the presentation and the realism of the game. You show a full introduction of players walking out of the tunnels, national anthem, starting goalies, anything you would see on a real NHL broadcast, and make it personalizable to each of the NHL teams. For example, you have the Hurricanes with their siren or the Islanders with their lighthouse. Anything to make it feel like you're actually at the stadium as a fan. There's only 32 stadiums you have to do this for. It probably shouldn't even be that hard. This is something that has bugged me, and it's so small that they could probably just add it in an update. If you're playing in a franchise mode game or a playoff game, just show the series score. There's nothing on the broadcast that distinguishes a playoff game from an actual regular season game or a preseason game. Like I said, this is something so minor, but I feel like it would have such a big impact on the broadcast. Oh boy, I'm about to rant so hard. Literally just do anything. Assuming that they keep Be a Pro the same in NHL 26, which they probably will. It has been 5 years since they even changed a single thing. You revamped it for NHL 21, and then you just decided that your job is done. We're not going to touch it for another 10 years. Go play NHL 21 Be a Pro, and then go play NHL 25 Be a Pro. Find me a single difference, and I'll Venmo you. Pricey pond hockey. For the love of hockey, please add a storyline to Be a Pro. FIFA's old journey mode was honestly one of my favorite modes in all of sports. You played through the career of Alex Hunter, a young kid who rises up through the soccer world. He even finds out later in the story that he has a sister, and you could play as her through the women's league, which is pretty sick, by the way. This is probably one of the most unrealistic things on this wish list. A lot of time and effort would be needed on this, and that's probably not in EA's dictionary. And speaking of women's league, yes, ladies, I care about you. Please hit me up. A storyline about the PWHL would be pretty cool if you're playing as a lady. And if you're a woman who plays hockey in real life, you could see yourself live out a career in this new and growing league. That would be pretty epic. Normally, it'd be a pro. You either have a choice of going to Europe, go into the CHL, or just starting off in the NHL. I feel like an option of playing in the World Juniors, it would be pretty cool as well. Getting to represent your nation and playing alongside other top prospects. With the implementation of World Junior rosters, I'm surprised this isn't even a thing yet. I think one of the best ways you can reward GMs for winning the Stanley Cup is having their banner raised in your arena. And getting to see that banner in your stadium while you're playing games would be pretty sick. Not just for your team, but other teams as well. Jersey retirement banners no doubt should also be a thing. Whether it be a player who's already played for your team or a player who's auto-generated, one of the best ways you can honor your players is to have their jersey number retired. And maybe you could get a little cutscene where they're inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think that'd be pretty sick as well. Just a little side note, I think jersey retirement should be a thing for other teams as well. I hate seeing auto-generated fourth liners wearing number 8 for the Washington Capitals. I think that's absolutely disrespectful. The option of being able to control multiple teams, I don't think is really necessary, but I think it'd be pretty cool anyways. It's already a thing in season mode. I think some games like MLB The Show and Madden have this feature. I know a lot of people would be utilizing it, but to be honest, I probably wouldn't use it as much. The addition of the 4 nations or an all-star game, something like that would be pretty epic. Getting to see some of your players get selected for that event. Maybe add a little bit of realism, have some of your players get injured. Literally every other sports game has this. I don't understand why NHL doesn't. Let's say you work so hard on your franchise mode save, 25 seasons. Do you know what you get as a reward for finishing 25 seasons of franchise mode? This is what you get for finishing 25 seasons of franchise mode. That almost feels like a slap in the face. You get the same exact message for finishing Be a Pro. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can imagine a cool cutscene where your GM walks through a hallway, he looks at all of his accolades, all of his trophies, and maybe he even gets inducted into Hockey Hall of Fame. But no, your reward for finishing all of franchise mode is that you get a message saying that your mode is complete. What? This is a feature that's requested off Reddit, and honestly, it's not something that would impact me. I really wouldn't care. A lot of people are asking for the ECHL in franchise mode. I don't think it would really make a difference for me. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to have that organization, but again, not something I would use. One of the things I'll give EA props for is that they added a cool trade deadline mini game. I feel like something similar to free agency would be pretty epic. I don't like how it takes players 4 days to respond to free agent offers. Maybe a mini game involving negotiations would be pretty sick. All right, brace yourselves. It's time for another rant. You have your earplugs in yet? Okay, cool. Why is GM Connected not in the game? You guys acknowledge that it's your biggest requested feature every year, but you don't add it. What? It's not an excuse because college football added it, and it came out last year. There are 12-year-olds playing your game that never even seen GM Connected before. That's insane. In terms of customization, community creations is one of the most requested features every year. The only thing I can see stopping EA from doing this is copyright laws. But then again, games like NBA 2K, MLB The Show, even WWE has community creations. For whatever copyright excuse you want to use, if you can't offer community creations, at least offer us more custom logos. I feel like the only custom logos we really have in the game is a handful of custom logos plus ECHL logos. And a lot of the custom logos are reused from Madden anyways. This isn't a feature that a lot of people request. This is actually something I kind of came up with. I feel like I never see anybody requesting custom text on the ice. It's boring whenever you make a team and there's no text on the center ice. If you have a stadium name for your stadium, you can't see it on center ice. Every other sports game where you can make a custom team has this feature. I don't see why you can't add it. This is another feature that I'm absolutely shocked isn't in the game right now. You should be able to make masks for your Be a Pro goalie, or even add one on to a current goalie in real life. And maybe if you're proud of your creation, you could add it on to the community creations for other people to use. A lot of people aren't really big fans of the NHL soundtrack. I personally don't mind it. I just think there's a little too few songs. EA is testing out a feature with FIFA where you could use Spotify in-game, which I think is absolutely sick. Although, to be honest, you could just kind of do that on your console anyways. I don't know what it is about Hockey Ultimate Team, but I feel like I never touch that game mode anymore. I feel like there's too much content being added on, and it's kind of a pay to win. One thing that FIFA has that I absolutely love is the evolutions idea. If you don't know what evolutions is, it's essentially objectives that you could do to make your players a higher overall. So for example, if there's a player in the CHL that you absolutely love, he's a 63 overall, you could do objectives, get him up to a 99 overall, something like that. It'd be a feature that would make the game mode more fun as well. Something that FIFA also has that I love is a companion app. Being able to do sets, buy players, keep track of your team would be pretty cool. Just doing it on your phone, you only have to log into the game, and it will make the game a whole lot easier for people. There is no reason for the Winter Classic to not be in the game. You clearly have the resources and capabilities to make outdoor environments in NHL, and I imagine it's not hard taking assets from Madden stadiums to put into Winter Classic mode. If you could do it 12 years ago, you could definitely do it now. Come on. I was so hyped to learn that NHL 3-on-3 Arcade was returning to the series until I found out it was only limited to EASHL and it was a limited time mode. But now it's got me thinking, they have the resources, they have the capabilities to do it. Are they going to bring this back as a full-time game mode in future games? There's no reason they shouldn't. And now just thinking about it, NHL 3-on-3 Arcade, come on man, that was such a great game. It's got me nostalgic. To be honest with you, a lot of people complain about this, but I really don't have a problem with the gameplay. The only thing I don't like is that there's glitch goals, people abuse use that. But honestly, for somebody who plays a lot of offline game modes, I don't really have any issues. The only thing I will complain about is that I feel like it's not really realistic enough to real life hockey. I really don't know how to describe it, but it just kind of feels a little janky, if you know what I mean. Another thing that's highly requested every year is the port to PC. I mean, come on, every other EA Sports game is on PC except for NHL. Me personally, I'm not really a big PC player, but just imagine all the opportunities you have with mods. The amount of content you could get and the amount of fun you could get with mods, it would be so hilarious. And again, every other EA game is on PC. There's no excuse for this to not be on PC. And there's a big opportunity now with the Switch 2 coming out. It's a better and improved version of the original Switch, better graphics, better GPU, better everything. That's a huge opportunity for the NHL franchise right there. And I've always wanted to play NHL on the go, whether I'm on a long trip or a flight. That would be awesome. And honestly, that's really it with my wish list. Now think back towards the beginning of the video where I mentioned NHL 14. I'm gonna put a list of every single topic I mentioned in this video. Tell me how many of these topics were in NHL 14. I'll give you a couple seconds. 18 out of 29 features were removed from either NHL 14 or old NHL games, and 6 of the features were taken from other EA games. So that means that only 6 of these ideas are original ideas that EA's never done before, and the rest of these ideas are ideas that EA has already done and they've taken away from us. But don't worry, we won't see these game modes for another 10 years if we're lucky. And please let me know in the comments if there's any ideas or wish list ideas that I missed, and maybe I'll make a part 2, because there's definitely a lot more things that they've taken away from us. And to the development team in Vancouver, I'm not going to say any names, but please just listen to your fans. That's all we ask. And I got one more bone to pick with you. Why is Mark Gatcomb not a 99 overall?